Hello again, algebra students. In this set of videos, we're going to be looking at the beginnings of data analysis and statistics. Now, I'll give you a disclaimer here. If you're looking for a very in-depth look at statistics, you should probably just take a statistics course, probably in college or something online. So this is just going to be the tip of the iceberg, give you a little bit of a taste of what statistics study and data analysis is like, give you some basic info so that you can be just dangerous enough to use some of these things in real life. So, in our first lesson, we're going to be looking at finding measures of central tendency and dispersion. To do that, on your notes, you've been given a table of values that lists the current cost to attend any of the 13 UW schools. So if you want to go to UW Green Bay, UW Eau Claire, Stevens Point, Madison, Milwaukee, etc., this is what it's going to cost you to go there each year. And that, given that you're a Wisconsin resident, this is the resident tuition. You can go ahead and look these up if you don't believe me. Anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to find the mean value, the median, and the mode. Those are going to be three measures of central tendency that we are going to be concerned with. So the first thing I need you to do is I need you to enter all of these pieces of data into your graphing calculator, because your graphing calculator is a very powerful tool that allows us to identify these measures of central tendency. Now, as we look for the mean, what we're really going to be looking for is the mean is the average. Okay. Now the symbol that's going to be used to denote the mean is x bar. X bar would be the sum of all of the terms, so x1, x2, x sub n. Those would be all of the pieces of data within your set. Okay. In this case, it'd be the cost to attend the 13 UW schools. You add all those numbers together and you divide by n the number of items. So for us, that's going to be 13. Now, we'll look at that in just a second in the calculator. The median is going to be the middle number. If you line up all the numbers in order from least to greatest, the median would be the one right smack dab in the middle. Now, if you were to have an odd number of terms like we do, 13 of them, well, that means the seventh term is going to be right in the middle. If there's an even number of items, say I were to add one more school to this list, and there would be 14 schools, the median would be the mean of the two schools in the middle. So numbers 6 and 7, you would add them together and find their mean. Okay, that would be your median. The mode is going to be the number that occurs most frequently in your set or in your list. Okay, now let's pick out the mode right away because we'll do the other two with the calculator. The mode is just something that you can kind of eyeball by looking at the list of data. As I look through my list of data, is there a repeat number? Like, are there two schools that charge the exact same amount? Oh, right now I see Oshkosh and Platteville are both charging the same amount for tuition, $74.88. Is there any other pair that shows up? Doesn't look like it. So I would say that $7,488 would be your mode when it comes to the tuition price at the UW schools, because that one shows up twice and everything else just once. To the calculator for the other ones. Now, on your calculator, when you're working with data, you're going to use the list feature right here. So I'm going to go, stat, which is right below list. So I go to stat, and then I edit, which takes me to list 1, list 2, list 3, etc. Okay, so you should be able to see this on your calculator. We've used this in the past. Now, I've got all of the data pre-entered into my calculator in list 1. If you need to do that, I'd say pause the video now and enter those pieces of data into your calculator. I'm going to keep going and show you how I would use these pieces of data. So once they're in, all 13 are in there correctly, I will quit to go back to the main screen. I will go to stat, and now calc is where I'm going to calculate things. The things we're interested in are going to be the one variable statistics. That's what we're working with right now. So hit enter to choose one variable statistics. And list, okay, L1 is where I put my pieces of data. That's good. Keep it as L1 unless you put it somewhere else. Frequency list, don't need it. Calculate, hit enter. So it thinks through and spits out a bunch of values for me that we'll take a peek at in just a second here. So on your calculator screen right now, you should see a list of one variable statistics. The first one being X bar. X bar, if you remember, is the mean. So I'm going to go ahead and write down, instead of having to add up all the numbers by hand and then divide by 13, my calculator does it for me. It's pretty slick. So X bar, or the mean, $8,317 and some change. So we'll round it up to $83.18 for our purposes. We'll type that in here. So $8,318 per year, roughly. Not a bad deal. Colleges may be affordable. Next, we're going to find the median. Okay, median again is the middle number. So if I were to pull up my calculator again, there's a lot of stuff going on here. So quick explanation of some of these things. Sigma x, if you remember, sigma is our summation symbol that we learned about in a previous unit. So that means here's the sum of all the numbers in the data. So how much money would you spend to go to all 13 schools at the same time? It'd be about $108,000. Sigma x squared, take that number squared, here you go. Sx is a deviation thing that we won't use. Sigma x, lowercase sigma. If this is capital sigma, this is lowercase sigma. That stands for the standard deviation, which we'll talk about in the next video. N, the number of items in our list, 13, because there's 13 schools. Min x, that's the minimum value, that's the cheapest school in our list. Q1 is the first quartile, we'll explain that in the next video. MED is median, or that's what we're looking for. Now as I scroll down, and you can scroll up and down all you want, I'll scroll down all the way to the bottom just so we can see everything that there is. So MED is median, Q3 the third quartile, max X, that's the maximum value in your list of data. So the most expensive school on the list costs $10,416 per year. I believe that's Madison. So we're looking for the median. Well, there's the middle number, 7938. I'm going to go ahead and add that to our notes here. $7,938. So it looks like that's UW River Falls right in the middle. There's our median. Our mode we already picked out, 7,488, because Oshkosh and Platteville both charge the same thing. So there would be 3 measures of central tendency. What is our list of data look like in the middle? What's the average? What's the median? What's the mode? In the next video, we'll talk about some measures of dispersion.